Okay, so I'm trying something new here. Welcome back. This is Daniel Patrick Welch. Um, I haven't done this with my new channel before, but I wanted to show some of what's happening on the ground in Ukraine with some uh, video clips of what it means when you are looking for escalation. Uh, what Biden and his imperial paymasters did was continue and expand the what they have been doing, which is allow a proxy to use their weapons to attack a nuclear power. Stupid beyond imagination, but it wasn't brand new. They've been attacking Crimea. They've been attacking the bridge, the Crimea bridge. Um, they invaded Kursk. They are not shy about this. But what Putin's response, well, not Putin, is the State Duma that promulgated the change in nuclear doctrine. But more important than the nuclear doctrine was the lowering the threshold for proving the guilty. That is, if you help, then you're part of it. And none of these missiles could ever reach their target without satellite navigation, without people to load and people to make the actual missiles, everything like that. It is a war against Russia, and it was started a long time ago. And the Russians have been every bit restrained as they can be, not to let it get out of hand. And um, the Biden administration, and let's not be fools, the only reason that Trump doesn't want anything to do with it is because it's already a lost cause, not because he's some anti-imperialist peacemaker. He just wants to use that money against China, right? But anyway, you probably won't see this. So this is interesting. I want to share these things. This is what happens when you ask for escalation. Let's just take a look at this. I can get. Let's see. Okay, I want to share this window. Okay, here we go. All right. That is this missile. Jesus. Well, we can just look at it again. It's 10 seconds of hell. But the sky opens up and there we go. Boom. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's the first one. Um, this Ukraine went off today, told the world that they were the first country in history to be hit by an intercontinental ballistic missile. The Russians have been remarkably quiet, except beforehand when they just basically said, "Told you so." Now, what the Americans, the only response. Remember that the escalation had no announcement. It came out through the New York Times or through Le Figaro, a French newspaper, that storm shadows and Taurus and the American version were going to be used inside Russia, which again is not news. It made this stunning headline, but I mean, what have they been using against Crimea, Sevastopol, which was always part of Russia, even in the treaty, even in 1991. But they didn't kind of expect this. So the Americans are running around saying, well, it's not an ICBM, it's an MRBM. Whatever BM you're trying to get rid of, it's not the one you want. This is a medium range ballistic missile, supposed to be part of the INF, the Intermediate Nuclear Force Treaty, that was supposed to require notification when these are sent, whatever. And it actually is not. It's something new. It is the surprise, and that is a pretty astonishing. What they did was hit a factory in Yajmush, which, among other things, is a repair workshop for the Leopard tanks that Germany gave. Right. So, I mean, this is what they mean by, if a non-nuclear state couples with a nuclear state, then we will consider it a joint attack. And the paragraph before that, which didn't receive as much attention, was that if it's a coalition or a military bloc, then we will consider it as an attack by every member of that military bloc. So now, all members of NATO are officially defined by Russia as being party to this war. And whatever they say, and they always come up with something, but whatever they say, it's just a lie, because they don't actually get to define that. The Russians do. Now, here's I just had another thing here. This one is someone actually witnessing this, and you'll see. This is amazing. I'll get it up here. Okay. So this is someone watching from there. Look at this. Zavod, he says. Zavod, yeah, that means here it is. And Ishur, he keeps saying Ishur. Again, another one. Right. Ishur, again. Here we go. That is beyond belief. But it is Dnipropetrovsk is positioned, it's not in Donbass and it's not Kiev, right? There are 6 explosions there. In the past 2 days, there were 6 missiles sent into Bryansk and the areas south and east of that in Russia. All of them appear to have been shot down. One was deflected by air defense. Here you can see it doesn't look like anything is deflected, and this industrial area was completely flattened. And these also included Kinjal, I believe, which is a deep ground penetrating system. And that's there are reports. We don't know whether the fog of war is obfuscating or creating things like this, but there are reports that there are caravans of rich people or cars packing up and driving out of Dnipropetrovsk, which brings me to another, perhaps, I'm not sure, but not a prediction. On my first video a couple of weeks ago, I predicted 100 electoral vote uh, gap in the election, and I was almost right. It was 86. So I kind of like saying that. And anyway, uh, maybe we're talking about adding another layer to the parts of what used to be known as Ukraine, which will be part of Russia, and that is the next kind of row of oblasts. Odessa, Nikolaev, Kharkiv, in that second range. We don't know, but there are no games being played anymore. And that is just now this one there's another one here. I hope you're enjoying these, or I mean I don't mean that. I think it is astonishing and stunning, but I mean that you don't necessarily have access. Here is okay, we can choose a window. And what I think is amazing about this is just mind blowing. It looks like the sky. Here, let's look at it again. The sky opens up and God or death appears. That's it. That's it. That is what is happening. And it's not the apocalypse. It's not the hundreds and hundreds of massive missile strike. Why all the Western countries abandoned their enclaves in Kiev yesterday. But it is very Russian. They came with, well, we don't need many missiles. We use just one. And it may be murder, have 6 separate things. They go everywhere, yes. But next time, maybe you listen. I don't know. But this is where it leaves me, which is very, I think this is funny. I don't know if you, but this is, hold on, we get, see, I'm not very good at this, but I'm getting it. Okay, share screen, go to the window. Here we go. Mm. Here we go. This is what that is an American tale. Uh, and the grandma mouse is, I think, fittingly from Minsk, and it is the start of the latest round of this whole uh, disaster. Is the treaty that was put together in Minsk and completely ignored by the West and their puppets in the Ukraine. And so this is, I think, the Russians provoked into releasing the secret weapon. This is a something they had up their sleeves. And are they, gonna flood Ukraine with this? I doubt it. But they're hoping that with each escalation, much as is happening in the Middle East and the neighbors of Israel, with each escalation, an answer is just to make a point or send a message, and we'll see. We'll see what happens. Was Biden trying to poison the relationship so that Trump would have nowhere to start? I don't know. Digging into the personal levels of all this, it's kind of seems to me to be a waste of time because these are both just puppets of capital, and they're not making their own decisions, and they don't fundamentally differ in terms of wanting the forever wars to end. They just different factions of the capitalist parties want them to go in a different direction. Uh, Trump may be right about wanting to blunt China's rise because China has outshone Biden in terms of South America already, and will do the same in Africa with building the new port at Shanghai and um, creating an unstoppable rise in business between the Chinese coast and the coast of Peru, and then infrastructure being built over to Brazil, et cetera, et cetera. These are huge, huge things that are going to change the balance of power in what America has always considered to be its own backyard and has tried to foist some new version of the Monroe Doctrine on the rest of the world since that time. So we'll see what happens. I hope bear with me. I'll figure out how this stuff works and get better at it. But please share it. I don't think you'll see it. This is from the ground, from friends over there watching it personally, and subscribe, buy me a drink or a coffee or two, and we will see you later. Enjoy the show. Bye now.